This is a review on my 2022 Aprilia SX125. I'm doing this video in two parts purely because it would have been a really long video because there's a lot of bad points and a few good points, but not to spoiler alert, there's quite a lot of bad points about this bike, unfortunately, although it might look nice. So yeah, today on the first part today we're going to talk about the good points of the bike and the modifications I've done so far. So we'll start with the modifications. As you can see, I've got a KTM headlight on there, which I literally was able to just sort of plug straight in there. It's not the same connectors, but it did just plug straight in because it currently runs a LED rear brake light, so it already had a relay for an LED in there, so I didn't have to mess around with any of that. It was just literally a plug in and it worked. I got a high and low beam, which I'll show you shortly. The other mods I've done is I sort of made my own tail tidy. They don't actually sell a tail tidy for this bike yet because obviously it's a 2022 model, so I ended up just cutting the back end of the bike straight off here, and obviously just putting my number plate on and using a heat gun to angle it back down so it was legal. The other thing that I've done is obviously, as you can see, the full wrap round handguards that we've got up here is nice and solid, protects it if I ever drop the bike or if I just can't be asked to put the stand down and I feel like leaning it against the wall. I've got a USB charger up here which has got 2 ports on it. It's not actually fully connected, it's a bit of a pain in the ass because of the fat bars. So yeah, if you would get anything like bar end mirrors or handguards or something like this, you got to remember to get fat bar ones because obviously these are oversized, so a lot of normal stuff will not fit it. So yeah, like I said, I've got a USB charger there which you can run, USB lights off if you wanted to, or just charge your phone like I do. Yeah, the other thing I've got on there, literally last but not least, is just a little Chinese exhaust, nothing special. One of the £35 jobbies. Sounds alright. I'll give you a little start up soon. The other good points about this bike, really, like more sort of factory orientated. Obviously the bike comes with ABS as standard at the factory, which is sort of reassuring. That's just on the front wheel, not the back. So it's just nice to have. If you've ridden a bike, for a long time, you'll know that you can lock up and lose the bike quite easily. Another good point on this bike is top speed. Out of the other 125s I've had, this being a supermoto, it's 75 mile an hour top speed. I think that's pretty good. You physically can't go over that because it's limited to 75. So yeah, you can tuck as much as you want and it'll just hit that, and yeah, it's got a rev limiter, I'm assuming. So that'll be your top speed, but that's just that's slightly faster than my WR that I had, so it's not too bad. The seat's pretty comfy for a supermoto. It's slightly sort of wide, but it's nice and comfy. Like I say, it absorbs you nicely. I've sat on this bike for 4.5–5 hours riding about. I've been fine, so that's quite good. It's pretty good on fuel, to be honest. I think it's got an 8 litre fuel tank, I think it is. So it's about £8. Well, it was about £8 to fill up before the fuel prices went up, but just slightly more now, about £9. Now you do about 120, 130 miles. It's a weird one with this one. It doesn't have a fuel gauge or anything, even though it's a new bike, because it's just the Italians for you. So basically you get a fuel warning light when it gets down to 30 miles. So you'll worry thinking you've got no fuel, and in reality you've still got 30 miles to go, which, yeah, that's obviously a bit of a pain in the ass, but you get used to it pretty quickly. The other good thing about this bike is, obviously, I know it's new, but the clutch is exceptionally nice. It's a really nice clutch, really smooth through all the gears, because obviously it's got a 6-speed gearbox, this one. Yeah, just a really, really nice smooth clutch, really like it. The other good thing about this bike, obviously, is, as you can see, the upside down forks. It's nothing major. I know it's pretty standard on a lot of bikes nowadays, but just a nice little addition. Oh, the other thing, it's nothing major again, but just the fact I had a WR a few years ago and that didn't have a clock on it. So obviously if you work like me, it's pretty handy to have a bloody clock. You can see mine's an hour out, but yeah, it's really nice having a clock on there. You can see the dash is pretty bare. You've got your rev gauge, oil, temperature, an ABS light and an engine warning light. All of this goes out obviously when you actually start riding. I don't know why it all comes on when you're stationary, but it's just how it works. The other little thing I don't like, but I guess it's nothing major, is your lights don't come on unless the engine's running on this, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but you know, it's nothing major. Yeah, obviously this bike in reality, you know, if you buy one new, I paid 3,800 for it. That got me, depending obviously the dealership you get it from, that got me a year's tax. It got me 3 years parts and labour warranty, and a year breakdown cover. So, you know, in reality it seemed like a good deal. I've not owned a new bike before. This is the 35th 125 I've had now, so I just wanted something reliable, so I thought I'd go and buy new. And yeah, I can't say it was anything I'd do again. Obviously I'll talk a lot more about that in the second video because I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, definitely go along and watch that because I'll tell you, you know, my honest review. And you know, like I say, I would buy one of these again, but you'll have to watch the other video and find out what I'm going to say. Alright, thank you for watching, and yeah, speak to you soon.